Hi. Sorry for the delay, runners. But I'm not going to lie, it is a gray, snowy day here in Denver. We don't get very many of those. Believe it or not, Denver gets more sun than pretty much, I think, every other city in the country except for San Diego, California, which is kind of hard to believe. So we don't have snow days that often here. We had snow cream and hot chocolate and mug cakes and the works. I don't think my kids have eaten a vegetable today. I'm pretty sure they haven't. So that means I did it right. Yay. And so I was stuck in a cuddle puddle. If I don't know if you've seen, if you're a parent, you probably have Disney Plus, and Disney Plus has a new Frozen short, which we have now watched at least 62 times in an infinite loop. So my sanity is hanging by a thread, but I am here still for y'all. This is my favorite time of the week. Hopefully it's yours too. My name is Mary Catherine Fleming. I'm the founder of the Fitness Protection Program. And every week I take questions in a live Q&A session from my runners. The three programs that we offer at Fitness Protection. So we have Runner Interrupted, which is a program for runners who's are not able to run at the moment. Runners whose journeys have been interrupted either by life, by chance, by injury, or what have you, by 2020. It's a support program to help get through and to ease them back into, get them through a period of not running, especially since running is a coping mechanism for so many of us, as well as an on-ramp back into the habit when that day comes and things get out of your way. Then we'll be taking questions from runners in our Build and Rebuild programs. These are two separate communities, one program between them. So Rebuild is for runners who have a modicum of experience and don't want to be treated like newbies. They're just returning to fitness and to getting back in the saddle. Build is for brand new runners or for runners who are new to the way that I do things, and there can be a little bit of a learning curve there. So we put them in Build while they get used to the way that we do. Finally, I'll be taking questions from our Maintain runners. Maintain is a program designed for runners who have a modicum of fitness they would like to maintain. We keep you, after 3 months in Maintain, we keep you half marathon ready at the drop of a hat. You don't need a specialized marathon or half marathon ramp to prepare for a half or even to sharpen up for a fast one. In fact, we only need 8 weeks to get ready for a full marathon. That's how much running we do in Maintain. In the months where you want more, Maintain's there for you. In the months when you want a little bit less, you can transition right over into Rebuild. The program meets you where you are at every stage of your running life at $29 a month. It's a pretty good deal. You have everything you need in the palm of your hand, including me. Just kidding. You only get me 1 day a week. And this is the day. Let's dive in. If you're unable to meet us live, if you miss something, because I do talk really quickly, this broadcast will be put out again as a recording in the Running Life, the Fitness Protection podcast, available on iTunes, CastBox, or your favorite podcast player. It'll be out in the next couple of days. So here we go. First, we're going to count up all the weekly wins from all of our runners. I'll dive into the questions, and then I'll finish off with my thoughts at the end of the Start Jury week. So in Build, JJ Jensen walked the MCM. That is huge. I know a lot of my runners have been pretty sad. I was even a little nostalgic about it because right now is the height of fall racing season. This past weekend would have been Marine Corps. 2 weeks ago would have been Chicago. The week before that, and I think last weekend would have been Wineglass and Mohawk Hudson. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's looking like we are not going to be returning to anything resembling a normal racing schedule in 2021. My prediction is that we won't return to anything looking like a marathon as we know it until at least 2022. We're going to be doing our own thing virtually for the most part. And gosh, that I got to hand it to you. I love running. Today, I actually really like running in the cold. And today I started off on a run. And there's an unhoused encampment at 19th and Emerson, which is about 3.5 miles from my house. And somebody was asking what's happening. They're not supposed to sweep this weekend because it's only 7 degrees today, like 7 degrees in Denver today. And we weren't sure if the city was going to keep their word. Someone asked, how's it going? And I was like, I'll head up there on my run. And as soon as I put that in Twitter, I was like, I don't really want to run that far today. I don't know. But as soon as I got outside, I felt so good. I ran all the way there, all the way back, was like, yay, who wants mud cakes? And I felt really, really energized because that's how much I like running in the snow. That said, if I'd had to run a marathon in the snow today, I do not think I would have been able to do it. If I'd had to do it last weekend, I do not think I would have been able to do it. It takes a special kind of tenacity and dedication, which is why that we named our marathon plans after y'all. Tenacious as fuck. Tenacious AF. We got Tenacious AF, Steady AF, and Dedicated AF. And you got to be all three to run walk the MCM on your own sweet time. Well done. That is a huge win. Your coach is very proud of you, JJ Jensen. In Rebuild, Brenda Haskell has a great run that she said felt so easy. Those are great days, right? It's like everything else can be falling apart, but if your workout goes well, all of a sudden, it feels like I'm a little more resilient. It feels like everything else is going to be okay. It feels like maybe not quite I'm a superhero, but maybe I don't totally suck. It can be the thing that pulls you out of the dark spot on a dark day when things are overwhelming. And we're only so many days away from some major event everyone keeps talking about. I don't know. If I was on Facebook more, I'd probably know, but even I had to hide from Facebook this year. So that's where we are. It's amazing what good sleep can do for you. And as we are learning in my household too, my husband has a CPAP machine now. He has never slept better in his life. I have never slept better in our marriage. It's the only thing I can complain about is every once in a while he'll roll over and, the machine will spit cold air in my face, but that's not really enough. I just go put on a sweater. Not a big deal, y'all. Got to say, sleep is food. And most of us in times like this are starving. So if whatever you can do to get a good night's sleep tonight, make sure you do it. It does make a difference, as Brenda found out. Congratulations, Brenda. That's wonderful. Over in Maintain, Sarah Seberg, our resident badass, got up early enough to run outside this morning. That's huge. Sarah lives where it's really hot all the time. And the only time it's not dangerous to go running in the morning not dangerous to go running is early in the morning. So she went out and she had no walk breaks for 40 minutes. That is huge. That's huge and incredible. Well done, Sarah. I know how good that feels, and I'm feeling it with you. Karina Terry has been having good runs and is excited because supposedly the last hot day of the year in her area has passed. Fingers crossed for you. This kind of snow this early is really unusual for Denver, so I'm kind of not sure what to expect next. But if whatever you're having is transitioning into this, then God bless you, because it felt good outside today. But that's because I have a home to come into. It felt good during my run. I don't know how good it feels for everybody else, but if you're having a good day, we're happy for you. Emily Sorensen just finished day 3 of a stacked race challenge. Stacked races are where you do like a race a day over consecutive days. They're hard. I don't have any burning desire to do one. It's one of those things conversationally, people are like, have you done Goofy? And I'm like, I would love to do it someday. Like, I'll say it, but I don't really mean it at all, because I don't want to be like, God, that sounds awful. What's wrong with you? And I don't want to say that now, Emily, because there's nothing wrong with her. But she finished day 3 of a stack race challenge, which is 5K Friday, 10K Saturday, and a 15K today. That's not so bad. That's unlike Goofy, which is like 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon over 4 days. Awful, awful, awful. So it was her first ever 15K. So she said, new PR. Yay, you! How fun. I actually really like the 15K distance because it's really disorienting. I never quite remember. I know it's less than 10 miles. I know it's not quite a half marathon. And because of that disorientation, I can kind of focus on the run and not worry about how much is left the way that I do in races where I'm kind of familiar with how long I'm going to be out there, like a half or a full marathon. So that can be a really fun experience. And I'm glad this was fun for you and not horrifyingly difficult, which is what it sounds like when you talk about 3 races, 3 days in a row. Or at least that's what my mind goes to. Please don't make me do it. So moving now to the questions. We're going to start with the questions in Rebuild. Hi, Coach. I am brand new to fitness protection, so I have a lot of questions. Sorry. Don't ever be sorry. That's why I'm here. If you guys didn't ask questions, I would have nothing to do on Sunday night. First, as a background, I'm recently recovered from disordered eating, and through my recovery, my body has changed a lot, but I'm mentally so much better. We have a lot of people where you are right now in the fitness protection program. We try to keep this a body positive and a safe space. Like, it's okay to not be okay. No one has to feel positive about their body all the time, but rather we try to call out and put a stop to this type of disordered thinking that is so pervasive in our society. Like, things would be better if I lost a little weight, if this, that, there are a lot of ifs, and really none of it has to do with weight. It has to do with how cruel we can actually be to each other under a veneer of what we've been taught is polite. And I don't do veneers. Very direct, as y'all know. So welcome to the club. We have a lot of people in your boat. My cardiovascular fitness currently is not great because I had to stop exercising for almost a year until I could get to a better place with my relationship with food and exercise. I feel you. There is a direct and indirect relationship between performance and health. And the things that we do to improve our performance are detrimental to our health in the long term. So congratulations. I know that I cannot imagine not running for a year. I cannot imagine being where you are. But I can imagine how much tenacity was required to do that and put your health first. And God, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And God bless the road that brought you straight to me. I started fitness protection this week and walked all of the workouts, trying to keep my heart rate under 140, but my pace is super slow, like 20 minutes a mile. Is that okay for now? Yeah, it's great. It's exactly where you need to be. So the whole methodology behind this is that when I started coaching running a long time ago, I remember looking around my very first season as a coach, which I never intended to be a run coach. I was an investment banker in a previous life. I couldn't find a coach here in Denver to coach me that I thought could help me get back to my former level of fitness. So I set out to become the coach that I wanted to hire. And through that, the thing that really got to me, the thing that that kind of kept me awake at night, was how runners would talk about easy effort runs, and it's like I was talking to their ego and not to the person. If like the ego is like a part of your personality, if I could take it out and like put it next to you, it's like the devil on your shoulder. It's like I'm talking to that devil and I'm not talking to the person, and nothing I say would get through. That was totally easy. I was I mean, they would be choking around the track. Like, no, it's fine. It was fine. I'm like, you're not fine. That was not an easy effort. Easy effort is conversational. I'm talking. I'm like, no, okay, stop. So here's what we're going to do. And I made everyone get a heart rate monitor and come back and say, if on an easy effort run, your heart rate's got to be under 140. And I pulled out the metadata and had a big conversation about it. And I still have the presentation that I gave all my runners back then explaining the methodology behind it. So basically what we're trying to do with these super easy effort runs is we're teaching your body to burn oxygen for fuel. And I know that sounds kind of like, oh my God, science words, everything just kind of like deer in headlights, but hear me out. When you're working out, harder is not better. Everything in the fitness world is here to tell you that skinny is perfect and harder and is ideal and less is more, and it's all bullshit. It is terrible. What you need to know is this: when it comes to endurance, you don't need to go hard. It's easy to go hard. It's really hard to go smart. Running more slowly than you want to go in any given moment is one of the hardest things that you'll ever do. So if you ask me, what we do here is plenty hard, except including easy effort. It's just a different kind of hard, as you're seeing now. It is enough. You are enough. Your efforts are enough. Don't ever doubt it. Yes, you did this absolutely correctly. What we're trying to do over time, you will see a very rapid increase as your body gets used to burning its own protein in your muscles and oxygen and stored fat for fuel. It is a little less efficient than, say, glucose. So when you run easy effort, you can be out there. The whole idea behind it is you could do this literally all day. And you'll find out that you could, because at the end of a 30-minute or 60-minute easy effort run, shouldn't feel like you did anything. You should be able to make all the mud cakes for your kids and take a shower and dry your hair and be like, yay, and not feel overstressed, overtired, little bit angry, little bit hangry, whole lot hangry, actually. The things that runners usually feel after a long run. I'm very proud of what we've been able to cultivate here, a space where food doesn't have to be earned and food isn't actually part of the equation at all. So yeah, with your heart rate under 140, your body is finally working efficiently, and it's going to take a little time, and psychologically it's going to be a lot more difficult to wrap your brain around that this is okay and this is good for you and this is exactly what you need to be doing. But the reason I'm positive that this is correct and that this is all right is because I learned how to do this in a cardiologist's office after my dad was recovered from a widowmaker and the subsequent quintuple bypass. So I was little, I was an early riser, and I was a pain in the ass, still am, proud of that. But my mom was sending me out the door at 5:15 to go run with my dad because she wanted to get a little extra sleep. And as a mom now, I really understand that. Oh my God. So I would go with him. And I don't remember where I was when I started, but I know that coming back from my babies each time, there have been runs that were 18-minute miles, 26-minute miles. And hell yeah, they were runs. Maybe I could have walked it faster, but it wouldn't have served the same purpose of what I was trying to do. So I know that in a time when fitness looks like being in a classroom, being compared to the people around you, being ranked at the end, all that stuff stresses me out and I hate it. I don't ever want to do it here. All of the things that we are encouraged to do to just give a little more, it's kind of bullshit. Like no one knows how hard you're trying or how hard the road was to get you here. How dare anyone judge your effort once you've arrived? You are never going to hear me tell you to do more or to work harder. My job as coach is to pull on the reins, to remind you that recovery and rest is on the training plan for a reason, and that you're coached and you're loved and you're winning at life. You're doing all the things you need to do. And it's going to take a long time to trust that, and I'm going to be with you every step of the way until you do. Secondly, the only heart rate monitor I currently have access to is on my Apple Watch, and I don't know how accurate that is. It's fine. What type of heart rate monitor is most accurate or will do the job well enough? Anything you have is going to do the job well enough, including the Apple Watch. Apple Watch has made a lot of strides. The first iteration, the second iteration, I think even the third iteration of the Apple Watch they were trying to do something totally different with the heart rate stuff. And I respect that, but all we need to know is where's my heart rate right now? That's it. Is it above 140? Is it below 140? And with that in mind, pretty much anything will do. Occam's razor applies. The easiest solution is probably the correct one. So start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. If you want to go buy something fancy and fun, I absolutely love my Polar Vantage V. And the reason I do is because it has a different kind of measure in it called the cardiovascular load, which is something that I used to have to calculate in a spreadsheet by hand. There was no way to suck the data over easily, which also drives me crazy. Like, what kind of a program do you have that won't let me export data into a spreadsheet? But that's another story. So to that, it was something I had to calculate by hand on an ongoing basis that would give me a leg up on whether or not I was overtraining back when I was training for things. Because remember, performance is the opposite of health. Anything we do to improve performance was detrimental to health. And so that was a number that when this came out, I'm like, wow, that's really convenient. Polar is still the gold standard in accuracy with heart rate, but it's not like second place sucks, whereas the first loser. It's really the wrong way to look at it. If you have money to burn and you want to go burn it, Polar Vantage V. If you really like apps, there are Garmin's that are great. I don't like them. I've tried all kinds of different Garmin's and I don't like the feel on my wrist. I don't like the navigability. I'm a Polar girl and that's where I'm going to stay. I had their first commercial heart rate monitor in 1983 with my dad. Insurance gave it to us as part of his rehab, and I've been using them ever since, and everything else just pisses me off. I don't know. It's good. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. So that's where I am. What you do is up to you, but the Apple Watch should really be just fine. Last, and I'm not sure if you can help me with this, but I've been having some issues with muscle cramping. My calves feel tight when I'm walking, and some movements in the strength circuits cause my muscles to cramp up. Sometimes when I'm just moving, when I'm not exercising, my muscles will cramp up suddenly too. I'm pretty good about keeping hydrated throughout the day. I've tried working with my PCP, but have not been able to figure out a root cause yet. Is there anything you suggest? So the first place that I go with this is that a cramp is neuromuscular stimulation. We don't have direct causes. For years, it was believed that cramps and side stitches were due to hydration, and now we're not so sure. We think it has something to do with exertion. We think it has to do with your body sending a red flag saying whatever it is you're doing, you need to stop for a minute, and that cramp is going to force you to do that. So with that in mind, we do need to keep up with the foam rolling circuit. There should be a video in your welcome packet and flagged in the Facebook group. And I ask everyone to use this after every single session. It will increase your mobility. It will increase, you have the suppleness of your muscles, and it'll help you recover more quickly from your workouts by bringing fresh blood flow to the area. So with that in mind, that is going to go a whole lot further. And I know this sounds terrible, but if it's happening in your calves, then we really need to work on your soleus and massage that out really well. And that, more than anything, should help a lot. I refer to junk in the like that's the fascia that develop over time in between your ankle and your soleus. So that would, if you put your thumb on the inside of your ankle and then rub it upwards to where you feel the calf start, that muscle is your soleus muscle on both sides. It's that little inner muscle where your Achilles tendon inserts. So with cramps there, it's usually an indication that your body's just adapting to something new. That's really good. It doesn't necessarily mean like danger, but it also could mean that it's time for new shoes. That was a real wake-up call for me this week. I forget how quickly this year has passed, but I bought 3 pairs of run shoes online from a local run store because I'm all about supporting local businesses. And then COVID hit and I couldn't return them. Like I was going to try the 3, keep 1 or 2 maybe, and then take the other one back. So this was like a lot of money on shoes in one go. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? So I have worn these shoes to the nib, you guys. I did not even think about how many miles had been on them but I was starting to get those same things, cramps and posterior shin splints, which I never, ever get. And I was completely frustrated until I looked over and was like, it's October. That's how many months? I probably need new shoes. So now those shoes, I went for a run the next day in pair number 2 of the 3 and was like, oh, this feels great. Yay. Oops. So there's that. A lot can be going on right now, but if that's presenting in your inner calf, then it might be time to look into new running shoes. 1, focusing on mobility. Number 2, and I'd say everything else you're doing is just fine. If you go down the Google click hole, you're going to find a lot of explanations having to do with nutrition, which can be code words for things we don't want to think about, and hydration, which won't help you a whole lot because it's going to tie back to nutrients as well. Despite your history, like I'm talking the same way I would talk to everybody else, that type of information might give you an answer, but it's not going to be a better answer than the one I'm giving you right now. Food is not the root cause of all things, and cramps are not indicative that you're doing something wrong. If anything, it can be indicative that you're doing something new, and your body's just waiting for the abuse to start because that's what it's used to. That's what most of our bodies are used to. And it's freezing up. And here, like, oh, it's going to take it a while to trust you as well, but it's going to be a really fun journey. And I'm proud that you're going to have to take that journey with me. Thank you for being here. So those are my big suggestions for cramps. Here we go. Maintain. Is there a place where we can find your old Bosu series? I've been wanting to dust off the Bosu and get back on it. I'm pretty sure I know who's asking for that. And this sounds like a Karen Schluter question. And I love you, Karen. You're always wanting more. So no, all of those circuits are pretty much gone because they were never on my platform. But I did, but the circuits were mine. I designed them, so I have no trouble going back and recording them. We'd been thinking about adding a Bosu subscription. We weren't really sure what direction we wanted to go with that when COVID hit. We were looking at several different options this year for strength, but frankly, this is the first time I've heard about Bosu for a while. So I am totally happy to go re-record those and get them up where everybody can see them and play with them once more, because Bosu is good and Bosu is fun. And I have a little space now upstairs because we finally did some spring cleaning in October and got rid of all the stuff that had been collecting and all the things that I said I was going to send to Poshmark or eBay or consignment, including my maternity clothes. That was really hard. I didn't get rid of all of them. I still got a box of really nice ones. I can't believe I'm not having another, like, that's over. But it's over. And there we are. And we're starting to get rid of all the baby stuff and all the maternity stuff. So with that in mind, we have a space now where I can do Bosu, and I would be thrilled to dust off my Bosu Master certification and make videos for y'all. So yay. And I'll make sure Aaron puts the link to Bosu Booty #1, which Dan Failton, I re-recorded that for him when he started training with me back in February. So I'll have no trouble. That should be in the YouTube channel somewhere. If Erin has the link handy, I'm sure she'll put it up. If not, I'll go find it and I'll put it up too. But yeah, absolutely. Let's get back on the Bosu. So now with all of that, oh, sorry, I'm not protest mom today. I am Coach MK. So with that in mind, with all the questions answered and the weekly wins counted, wanted to wrap up with my deep thought of the week. Brace yourself. It's not that deep. So it's cold here, and this time of the year, it's not optimal for anything. Productivity, this hustle culture tells us like your value and your worth is contingent upon your output and what you do in the work, that the output of the work that you do each day. And that drives me nuts. I just don't, because we undervalue stay-at-home moms. We undervalue people who do lots of volunteer work in the community. We undervalue community organizers. There are so many people doing really like critical work that isn't revenue producing, and we only get excited about revenue and absolutely nothing else. And that's, in my opinion, really the wrong way to look at things. So this year, this time right now, especially in COVID, in 2020, 8 days away from a really big event that none of us really want to talk about, it can feel like productivity's come to a standstill. It is dark. It is cold. I don't really want to do anything. I really don't want to get out of bed. There are things that I enjoy doing, things that need to be done, like even a fitness protection, where I'm just like writing the weekly email. I should have done it. I meant to do it. I sat down and I just didn't know. I did not know what to say. And it's a weird place to be when I don't have words or I don't know what to say. But I didn't know what I could possibly say that was worth hearing, because what people want right now isn't necessarily coming from me. So what I did instead was get in a cuddle puddle with my kids. And I did that for 2 hours on Thursday, and it was glorious. And I did it for another 2 hours on Friday, and it was amazing. And for those 4 hours, I didn't worry about what I wasn't doing. And I truly distracted myself by focusing on what I was doing and not on what the consequences would be. No, I really don't think I'm going to lose that many clients because I didn't write a weekly email this week or last week. I really don't think, when I think about like, what am I doing? Does it need to be revenue producing? Maybe I too undervalue the things that I do, just like you do, because we've been taught to think everything we do needs to be tied to output, needs to be tied to revenue. You can't put a price on 2 hours of snuggling in your matching sparkly socks that my daughter just had to have, and they are wonderful, with your kids. We say it's priceless, but it's the thing that we don't make time for or feel guilty doing. So I tell you that to tell you this: find something that makes you that happy and is totally priceless, meaning you would never try to put a price on it. And that could be something you do for yourself. That could be bath or reading your favorite book. I just got Neil Gaiman's book, the collected works of Neil Gaiman. It's all of his short stories. It's huge. And I've been working my way through it, just savoring every bit of it slowly and steadily. Oh gosh, I love his work. It makes me so happy. So, but making a little time for the snuggles and making a little time for reading each day, that has sort of been my anchor moving forward. And I would encourage you to find some way to do that. For a lot of people, that thing you do each day is running. But let's face it, you're also taught to put KPIs and metrics around that too. Am I getting faster? Am I losing weight? Am I feeling better? Am I looking better? Are people noticing? Am I doing? I mean, there are so many comparisons. Comparison really is the thief of joy. So as we go through a time where there is so little joy to be had and so much anxiety, I would urge you and beg you, especially for the next 8 days, to do whatever it is that you need to do, even if it sounds stupid, especially if it sounds stupid. It can't sound dumber than cuddles and sparkly socks. I mean, it had a girlier thing ever been said. And we know how much we were told to eschew all things feminine. I don't wear pink. I'm very serious. I do math. I lost a job once because I showed up wearing a red dress and people thought I didn't take the job seriously. After months and months and months of putting out perfectly good work. That doesn't make me dumb. It makes other people dumb, if you ask me. You were looking for a reason. Congratulations, you found it. Whatever the reason is to give you a hard time, it's going to be made up. You are worth it. You are worthwhile. You are valuable. You are valued. And if you don't feel it here, it doesn't really matter if you feel it anywhere else, because you matter to me. And that's what it means to be coached and loved. And if you're taking time each day to do a little something to distractify yourself, especially during this period of the year where we're not able to participate in our usual distractions, then I promise you, you're winning at life. If I could urge you to do one more thing this week, and this would just be some good humaning, one of the things that I like to do on Monday nights now is yell and curse at my local city council, who continues to sweep the homeless around the city as opposed to use that money, which they easily could, on solutions for the unhoused, which is just maddening on a day like this. If you happen to be in an area where you encounter a lot of unhoused individuals, I would beg you to smile and wave. If nothing else, it's also really easy to find the nearest grocery store and keep $5 or $10 grocery cards. Just buy and hand them out when you see them. It's not a lot and it's not enough, but it's better than nothing. And that little bit of validation can be all that person needs to get through to the next meal or through the next cold night alone. So we are our brother's keepers, whether we want to be or not. And if you want to take do it the MK way, show up at city council and curse at them. It's cathartic, and they have to listen, y'all. It's their job. Amazing, right? Yay. Oh, sorry. There is the link to the Bosu Booty circuit. There we go. Another one bites the dust, another week down. We'll see you the same time next week, unless everybody's so stressed out there's just nothing to say, in which case I will give you all the night off and urge you to stay far away from the computers and eating all the candy. Yay. Have a good one.